The Paytm problem. What lies ahead for Vijay Shekhar Sharma? Remember, he met with Finance Minister Nirmala Sridharan yesterday, and it does appear that Finance Minister snubbed him, saying that we cannot help you. It's the RBI which will help you, if at all. In fact, reports also suggesting that RBI has also, not relented to the calls of Paytm officials, suggesting that 29th of February is the date which we will stick to, and post which Paytm Payments Bank license may likely be cancelled in weeks and months after that. Those, of course, are source-based scenarios, but what happens to Paytm hereafter? That is the question. My colleague Kartik Malhotra joining us here in the studio once again. Kartik.
Hi, Shweta.
Hi, welcome back. The fact that Vijay Shekhar Sharma seems to have exhausted all possible avenues is coming to light with each passing day. What happens to Paytm from here on?
I think that's a very difficult question for anybody to answer right now, Shweta. You've already told the viewers what has transpired in the last 5-6 days or so. I think just to recap very quickly, 29th of February is the last date after which no credit transactions, no top-ups in any wallet, FASTag, any other service of the fintech player, and no onboarding of fresh customers, in any case starting the 1st of February, because 31st Jan is when the order came out. Like you rightly mentioned, I think a meeting has happened between Vijay Shekhar Sharma and Finance Minister. Some reports are suggesting the meeting lasted a total of 10 minutes, and that is all it took for the Finance Minister to tell Vijay Shekhar Sharma that the problem is actually between him and the regulator, and she will not be in a position to intervene. At the same time, the talks with RBI have failed. There hasn't been any positive development from those talks. There hasn't been any breakthrough. So as things stand right now, the situation for Paytm continues to be grim. The situation for Vijay Shekhar Sharma continues to be grimmer than it has ever been before. Now, let's try and paint some scenarios and see what are the possible tentacles this story could now take and which direction it could move in. Scenario number one, we are calling it the comeback kid. What happens if 197 Communication is able to fix these KYC issues, which is one challenge, not the only one, and not least the most obvious one. The second being these firewalls which are absent, also referred to as the Chinese walls, which are absent between the parent company 197 Communication as well as the payments bank and the fintech player, right? So in the absence of that, perhaps the comeback kid scenario could mean that these issues are fixed by Paytm, and Vijay Shekhar Sharma goes back to RBI, requests for another audit. RBI complies and says that, yeah, everything is all right and you can continue to be in business, right? So this is scenario number one, and it just continues to flourish from there on.
But this hinges on the fact that RBI will be relenting and will give Paytm some
window. There is no indication of that yet from any quarters, but I mean, it could be a proactive approach that Vijay Shekhar Sharma takes, fixes these issues. It's going to be time consuming. It will require resources. But if it is done, it may go back and say that we've done it, do another audit, and we are back in the game, right? But it needs a lot of boxes to be ticked, which is seeming unlikely right now. Second scenario is some sort of an inorganic survival, which could mean some other company with a payments bank license comes and picks up the Paytm Payments Bank company. Jio Financial Services has denied, but Jio does have a payment bank license, right? So there has been denial right now. It may turn into some sort of a conversation sometime in the future. We don't know yet. Now, in this scenario, Paytm or 197 Communication delinks the payments bank business completely from the other fintech business. If that is done, the payments bank acquired by another license holder continues to operate remotely, and no change per se to the lives of merchants or the lives of consumers, because all the changes that need to be done are done at the back end. Obviously, this is also going to require compliances to be fulfilled, right? So there is no getting away from making sure that all KYC compliances are in place. So this is scenario number two. Scenario number three, the worst scenario possible for Paytm and for Vijay Shekhar Sharma, could be curtains down on the company. So this would mean that the time and effort, and some reports are already suggesting that 29 February is too short a timeline to comply with anything that the RBI wants Paytm to comply with. So if they run out of time, and if they run out of the window to comply, not that there is an open window, but even this available 29 February window is too short, then it could pretty much mean that on the 1st of March, RBI could come and say, sorry, you don't have a payments license anymore, payments bank license anymore. In which case, Obviously, we will also see merchants migrating. We will see the large customer base of Paytm migrating to competitive platforms. And this would eventually mean, since there is no revenue driver for 197 Communication, then it will have to perhaps delist its stock from the market and continue as an unlisted company, perhaps get rid of the payments bank, because in any case without a license you can't operate.
Absolutely.
And then be another Me Too player, even though you were the first mover, continue to be another Me Too player in this fintech ecosystem where all you're offering is UPI plus some value added services.
All right, Shri, which of these three scenarios are most likely at this point in time? We know that talks with RBI seem to have failed. We know that there is a very little opportunity window to come back. There could be a buyer in making, we don't know. But it appears to me, from my reading of it, curtains down is what seems most likely right now.
I wouldn't, make such a sweeping statement, Shweta. I'd be careful about it, because if you were to look at it from Vijay Shekhar Sharma's point of view, I think his 100% priority would be to fix whatever issues that RBI has flagged and get Paytm back on track. I think he will go all out to do that. The only surprise I have is that why hasn't the company done more than what it has already in terms of its communication to assure people at large to say how they're going to fix the issues that RBI has flagged. I think the simplest thing for them to do would be to say that, okay, we're going to really go through our KYC with a fine-tooth comb and eliminate anything that looks suspicious, or like Kartik mentioned, get that solid Chinese wall in between our Paytm and the fintech company that we have. So I think they need to come out and say that and commit to that. And once that happens, so I think Vijay Shekhar Sharma will want to do that. Now, unless there are certain, deeper issues that we are not aware of as external observers, well, that's a different thing. For example, if let's say, if Paytm were to do a thorough 100% KYC and for whatever reason, the total number of user base drops dramatically, and then the valuation of the company shrinks, then that might be a reason why they may not want to do that. It will be self-defeating in some sense, although it's much needed. It will not serve their purpose. So I think we need clarity on how Paytm itself is going to address this issue. That's first one. It's also likely, because knowing RBI, Shweta, it's also likely that RBI may ask some other player to acquire Paytm Bank if it figures out that it could potentially roil the digital payments infrastructure in the country. And don't forget, Paytm is a very large player.
Absolutely.
Right? So, and the digital payment story is India's global showcase at this point. We are very proud of this. And the fact that how quickly we've been able to onboard so many people who didn't even have phones to begin with, to get them to transact digital payments. This is a case study around the world. So will
Indeed.
RBI do everything in its power to make sure that the India payment story, digital payment story remains intact, it remains fundamentally strong? Absolutely it will. And that is one of the reasons why it hasn't maybe thought twice about going after someone like Paytm with the largest presence, saying that you guys got to fix this. Otherwise we're not going to let you operate.
Absolutely.
Right? So that is RBI's commitment to the integrity of the market, Shweta. So I think Vijay Shekhar Sharma will want to do something which lets him run the company and let Paytm bounce back.
Absolutely.
But left to RBI, if it finds that it's not going to be salvaged, the way it is being run right now, it may ask someone else to come and take over the company. It's a likely scenario as well.
Right, and so window on that is closing very, very soon. 29th of February is what RBI circular has stated very categorically. It is not an if and when circular, it is a circular which states in entirety that Paytm Payments Bank may not continue thereafter. No onboarding of fresh customers, no wallet operations post 29th of February. We will keep tracking all those details as and when they emerge in the Paytm case. Whether Paytm will sustain, won't sustain, we don't know. We're bringing likely scenarios to you here on Newsline.